evening, folks, and welcome to another edition of Wall to Wall Sports. Tonight, we are going to have Win- Winkler legend Lucas Entz joining us on the show here tonight. Lucas managed to play his junior hockey in his hometown of Winkler, as well as after finishing up with a championship, snapping a long championship drought for the Winkler Flyers. He managed to start playing senior hockey with the local Winkler Royals and extended his snapping of championships droughts with the Winkler Royals. Managed to snap another long drought there. We're going to talk to him in just a little bit. Without further ado, here is Lucas Entz. So as mentioned, joining me on the show here today, we got Lucas Entz. Lucas, how are you doing today?
Oh, doing great. Glad to be here.
Yeah, thanks for coming on with me. Obviously, this is a new endeavor I've been doing. We managed to touch base a bit. Well, we've managed to know each other for a good portion of your life, but more so when you were playing with the Flyers there just a few years ago.
Yeah, it's always been great. I always appreciated the work you did with us when I was there, and you grew up with my brother too, so we always had that connection there too, which is nice.
Yeah, always known you since a young boy. Like I say, grew up playing hockey with Max, so always had a special fascination, keeping an eye on how you were doing, and seeing you play for the local Flyers was pretty cool. And then eventually getting to work with you there, made it that much sweeter. Excited that our paths got to cross there. You talk about the Winkler Flyers, and Lucas, you grew up a big part of the Winkler Flyers even before you were a member of the club. If I remember back growing up, your family always a big part of the board. Billeted as long as I can remember, just firmly entrenched to the Winkler Flyers. So just speak on that, and I guess how special it would have been when you got a chance to play for the hometown team.
Yeah, my dad was president and then on the board also for a number amount of years, and then yeah, my whole life growing up, we always had billets in and out of the house, as my mom was billet coordinator there for a little bit too. So always definitely heavily involved in the franchise there. And I mean, growing up as a Winkler kid playing hockey, it's kind of hard not to look up to those guys. And I'm sure you went to a lot of games when you were younger too. Like I had a lot of fun memories just hanging out at the rink with my friends, watching those guys. And when you're a little kid, you think those guys playing Flyers are these guys going to the NHL, and they're almost seem like they're bigger than life. But it was definitely a very special opportunity, especially that when I was right on the cusp of making it that first year, and then I made the team. I was like, oh, this is actually happening. So it was like a pretty full circle moment to get my chance doing that.
You talk about your family being heavily entrenched in an organization. Did you always picture yourself wearing the Flyers jersey one day, or was there a certain point where it maybe felt a little bit more surreal that, this was going to be something that was really going to happen? You mentioned, you got cut that first year, and then, making it the next year, you end up going to play 3 years with the Flyers.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't always know. Like when I was a kid, always like, oh man, playing for the Flyers would be like a dream come true. Like every kid like there kind of wants to. Like it's a pretty cool thing to do. And then obviously like COVID happened kind of into my high school, and then that kind of took out my grade 12 year with Hawks. So I wasn't really sure where I was going to be at, but I kind of showed up to training camp that my first year at high school and just kind of worked for that spot that was available and kind of worked my way onto the team. And then from there, worked my way onto the ice after kind of fighting for every minute I got. So it was definitely not always a for sure thing. And then even right up to the very end where I got told I was making the team, I wasn't 100% sure, but when I did, it was definitely a very special moment.
Yeah, you talk about kind of having to fight and earn that position with the Flyers. That was one thing I really found in the championship run. You were a big part of that. Maybe not getting the offensive contributions as some of the other guys like Trent Penner and Dalton Andrew, but I found that you had a lot of the key scoring. You know, the big moments where you needed a big goal. I believe, did you not have one of the game-winning goals throughout the Steinbach series there in the end?
Yeah, I had the game 3-1, overtime.
So yeah, not a lot. Like obviously good offensive numbers, but that clutch scoring, kind of something that you seem to get known with. Even when doing a little research here, looking back at the Royals, it looked like you had some clutch scoring through that playoff run there. So that's something that's kind of always been in your veins there, that ability to kind of jump in those key moments and be a key contributor in those moments.
Yeah, I know, especially with the Flyers, my role wasn't definitely a offensive superstar like DA and Penner were, but I always try and just kind of work for my chances. And I find, especially in playoffs, the game kind of slows down a bit, and you got to fight for every inch. And that's kind of when my game really shines, when it's a lot more physical, and you got to get a little bit dirtier, and a little bit grittier. And sometimes that kind of translates to more offensive chances for me, just when playoff comes down to the crunch time, and I can step into a big spot there. But I don't know if I'm ever always thinking I'm going to be the difference maker today, but just kind of go out there, play the right kind of playoff style of hockey, and then sometimes I get a little bit lucky, and it does feel good to be rewarded for all that hard work.
Well, you look at even at the NHL level, you see teams that go deep, win on the Stanley Cup. It's always the guys who maybe didn't have the flashy numbers during the regular season, the guys who are those in the trenches and kind of can contribute in these big moments. And that's something I found as a key to the championship winning Flyers. But speaking of the 2023-24 team, what made that team so special for you guys to go on and break a 20-year drought?
Yeah, I mean, that team was really, it kind of had a culmination of, I felt like my first year, my second year, we lost to both years. We lost to the guys who ended up winning the league. I felt like we were very close. Like our second year, we had two big pieces, C-Mac and Penner, both go down with injuries right before we're going to playoffs. And then our third year, I felt like the guys that had been around for those 3 years, like me, Trent, Sully, Penner, McKee, like Bosch, and then we got Brant too as a character. But it just felt like we've been working towards that goal for 3 years straight, and it just kind of fell into place where even going into that third year, like all those guys, like we had this feeling that this was going to be our year, and we truly believed that we were going to go get it done, kind of no matter what. And then we had a lot of ups and downs through the year. Maybe not in terms of wins and losses, we were pretty good, but a lot of stuff in the room that was going on, and we kind of stuck it through. And we're a big team. And then as far as like skill wise, I just think our depth was kind of second to none. Like we'd get scoring from a different line every game when we needed to. Obviously, we had the big guns that were shooting, but we had a lot of guys who were stepping in and playing big moments and getting big goals in the end. So I think overall it's just kind of a lot of things building up to one common goal, and as well as just running four lines and just kind of being the Broad Street bullies of the MJ there.
You talk about through that season, you guys had a feeling, but was there a certain moment during that or a certain game, maybe a comeback victory that, galvanized the group and kind of made you think, we have a chance at winning this thing?
Yeah, we started off really hot. I think we were, 8-0 or something like that. And we just had a really, really good start. And it definitely kind of started creeping into our game where we were like, okay, we can do this. We're tying a lot together. There's not a team in this league we think we can't beat. Like we always thought we were in the running no matter who we were playing. And then as the year went on, we just kept finding a way. Like it didn't really matter if we were down 1 or 2 or 3. Like we'll get the first one. We'll go from there. As far as one particular moment, I'm not sure if there's just one game, but just kind of a lot of different moments throughout the year where it's like we were down and we kind of find a way to win. And we always just had that belief in ourselves that it didn't really matter if we were down going into the third. We'd end up figuring it out and go get that first one, work for a bounce, and go from there.
Through that championship run, you were one of the assistant captains. How did your lead-up style differ from some of the louder voices or louder personalities on the team?
Yeah, I think there's always going to be a delicate balance in any team about like the leadership roles and who's doing what. And if you're kind of more spoken or outspoken, I always try to lead by example, especially during practice, work hard, and then on the ice, my game was nothing but effort. So didn't have enough skill to get by without working hard. So I got to lead that way too. And then in the room, trying to say the right things and take care of some of the younger guys who need a little bit more advice, especially the X's and O's of the game was definitely my strong suit. So try and help guys out when I can. But like Penner is a great leader. Here's our captain. Obviously, he led by example and vocally when he needs to. And it's hard not to follow that guy into a fight when he's going out there and playing that power forward game. He's great at.
So obviously, you end your junior career on a super high note there, winning the league championship there, and then you move on to the Winkler Royals. This was your second year here. How was the transition from junior to senior hockey?
Yeah. One more thing about the leadership group. Definitely, maybe not somebody who wore a letter, but Brant Young, kind of unspoken captain of the team for sure. Kind of always had the right thing to say, even though he's a pretty funny guy, but you could tell he really wanted to win. And then as far as the transition to senior, at first I wasn't totally sure if I was going to, just with school and everything, but definitely glad I made the transition. It's definitely a bit of a different game, and it takes a little bit to find your footing, but luckily the Royals are all great guys, and it's a really fun group to play with. It's definitely a little bit heavier. There's a lot more weight on the ice, I guess would be a nice way to put it. But you got to find your spots and use your speed when you can, obviously. And then it definitely tightens up a lot during playoffs as well. So it's definitely a bit of a different league, but I just kind of stuck to what I was good at, and the rest kind of followed. Just focus on the defensive zone of the puck, play 200 feet, and then the rest of my game usually falls if I'm doing those two things.
Did you find that maybe it was an easier transition going from high school going from junior to senior than it was maybe going from high school to junior, just because the senior level, there's a wide variety of age groups, maybe a different speed of play, and you said a different style of play. So was it maybe just that the senior transition maybe fit your style of play a little bit better, or did you still find the bigger adjustment from junior to senior?
Yeah, no, good question. It was an easier transition from junior to senior, just especially going from high school and then like grade 12 year. I think we had like 3 or 4 games AAA and then right into junior. And that's basically going from playing high school to the MJ is definitely a lot faster and a lot stronger. So that was a big adjustment for me. And then going from junior to senior, it definitely suits my game a little bit more where I can be, especially on my team, my role be a little bit more dedicated to kind of taking care of the D zone and playing 200 feet, and then playing with some great wingers as well who are talented offensively, so you can help me out that way, and then just kind of stay true to who I am. But yeah, although there is a difference, I definitely found my game is suited in senior too, so that was nice.
So obviously we talked about snapping a drought for the Winkler Flyers. You managed to this last year break a long drought for the Winkler Royals. Hadn't won a championship since coming over from the Plum Coulee Express back in 2013. Maybe just with growing up, the Royals not around as much, so maybe you don't feel as much pride. But still being a local boy and snapping a big drought like that's got to have some merit to it too, and you got to appreciate that moment.
Yeah, no, it was super fun. Like the guys that I'm playing with now they're all great guys. There's not a bad guy in our room. It's like I just have so much fun going to the rink and hanging out with all those guys and playing some really good hockey and high level of hockey. And we were fortunate enough to be really good this year and work really hard and get the championship back to Winkler. And like this is only my second year here, but there have been guys playing for a lot more than that in our team, like Phil Leckerman and those guys who've been here a while and they haven't seen that. So it's definitely special seeing like how much it means to them and like how much it means to Minty and all the coaching staff who's been here for a while. So it felt really good to get one done for Winkler, and yeah, especially that provincial banner too, getting that one done with over 1,000 people in the new rink, getting a championship in the old rink, and then now the new one feels pretty good too.
Yeah, you know what? You're just talking about some of the guys who've been on that Royals team for a while. That must have been, it felt such a sense of pride for some of those guys, I guess, just because, in junior, there's only that 3-4 year span, but now you have guys like Phil who, he's been playing for the Royals, I think, since they became the Royals. So, over 10 years without a championship in Winkler, and he's kind of been, for the lack of a better word for the Winkler Royals, he's kind of been the face when I think of them.
Yeah, no, that's fair to say. He's been here since the Royals came back from Plum, so 12 or 13, whatever that was. We were talking about it the other day, and just kind of getting to hear some stories about how it used to be, and definitely seeing how happy even some of the older guys were, especially like Minty and Odie and Brian and the coaching staff there and Janny. It's like they've been working at this a lot. There's a lot of hard work that goes into the season, kind of behind the scenes, especially with the board and stuff, and making sure that we have even the opportunity to play hockey every year. It's a lot of work. So definitely kind of being able to see those guys like get that recognition and feel that warmth of winning, and it definitely makes you happy on the inside when you get to do something and that end result brings everybody a lot of joy.
So winning both for the town, is there one that maybe gets a slight bump in the memory bank? That have you appreciate obviously both of them so much, but is there one that maybe takes the cake a little bit more? Which championship?
Yeah, I know. Like my teammates ask me that a little bit, and I just try to, really enjoy both of them. Obviously, it's nothing to take lightly either of them. It's something you work hard for all the time, and especially like being able to win both. It's hard to contrast them when they're kind of in different spots in my life and kind of different things going on. But like I feel very grateful to be even talking about which one was better, just because most people don't have the chance to do that. And so I'm definitely very blessed to be able to speak on that and kind of experience winning both. But as far as which one is more special, it's hard to say. Like maybe the Flyers one, just because it was more of a childhood dream to play the Flyers, and that one kind of felt like there's more leading up to it, maybe personally, even on the off ice side for me. But I don't even like flip a coin. They're both pretty great. So I'm just happy to have both of those under my belt.
Yeah, any championship is good. I mean, there's two more than I've got in anything. But turning some attention to some more fun questions. Who is the hardest player you've had to defend?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, as far as personally, I had to deal with Dalton Andrew a lot in practice, and that guy, all 6'5" of him in the corner, is not fun to deal with. I usually had a lot of trouble dealing with him in practice, just how long and tall he was, and then had a lot of skill too. But I don't know. That's kind of hard to say. Like Wozniak on Red River this year is really gifted too, so he's always a fun matchup for me. Getting that one-on-one matchup, I know I have to go up against him every shift, so that's a lot of fun. So I don't know, probably between those two, and then there's been a couple of heck of players that played from Steinbach with a lot of skill, but I always had a lot of fun playing against those guys too, just because a bit of a rivalry night whenever we went up against the Pistons, and we were all buying in for that one. So I don't know, it's kind of hard to narrow it down. So I don't know, probably Andy for practice, unless we're counting or Sammy in there too, just because he's basically Quinn Hughes on the ice, and I can't keep up in the corners with that. But yeah, definitely a lot of good competition.
Yeah, always good competition. Iron sharpens iron. A lot of good players from that championship team. Talk about Dalton Andrew. Do you keep in touch with a lot of the guys? I would imagine a tight group like that, you guys often keeping monthly updates or keeping in touch from time to time.
Yeah, we try and text pretty frequently. Yeah, try and keep in touch with a lot of those guys. It's hard when you have such a big team and you play with a lot of teammates, but definitely the guys that you are closest with, you try and keep in touch and keep them in your life and try and stay up to date and try and go out for supper or whatever I can with Andy whenever he's back in Winnipeg or if he's flying through Winkler. So there's a lot of guys on the team I try and keep up with, but can't always keep tabs on everybody. But the guys you're closest with, for sure, I try and text every once in a while.
And so with playing for the Flyers and the Royals, who would you single out as your best teammate?
Oh, okay. Best teammate is, I'm assuming you mean just like a glue guy kind of thing?
Kind of your number, glue guy, your number one guy, your ride or die.
Yeah, I got a couple of guys. Probably make that whole starting lineup of them if I needed to. Playing with Trent Sandbrook was special just because the compete that guy had to win, and he's also a really good guy too, and we got along great. So playing with him as a captain and seeing how skilled he is, but just how much work he puts in was special. Uh, Both of my billet brothers, Logan Philly and Sully Ross, playing with those guys, they got a lot of edge to their game, and they're willing to step in when things get out of hand and take care of business. So it's always fun playing with those guys because I knew if I was getting into anything on the ice, they'd be right there with me. And then as far as Royals go, Marcus has a really good pair of scissors and lets me cut my tape with them every day, and I like hanging out with him a lot too. So yeah, there's a lot of great guys. It would take me a while to get through all of them, but those guys come up right away, and then being able to play with Brett Bergman again now in the Royals and Donnie too is fun. So it's a lot of great guys that I've been fortunate to play with.
And you talk about all the teammates you got to play with. You got to play with for a number of coaches. Who would you say has been most influential growing up with the Flyers, or helping elevate your game even with the Royals? So who would kind of be that coach for you?
Yeah, I know. Like I've had a lot of great coaches. Definitely, like personally, I took a lot away from Ryan White and Eric Fair. Just that NHL level experience as a forward is kind of invaluable, teaching me everything they knew, especially in the face-off dot. I think it gives me a lot of upper hands on a lot of guys having that formal training, I guess you could say, from NHL level talent. And then like Mickey's a great coach in the Royals too, and he's definitely a really good players coach, and always gives me a call every once in a while, and we'll have a nice chat and catch up. But I've been fortunate to have a lot of great coaches in my life who kind of taught me a lot of things. But yeah, I guess those guys stick out right away.
And most underrated teammate.
Brant Young, probably most underrated teammate. Owen Wickham, probably those two. And then I forgot to mention before, he's going to kill me, but Michael Svensson, that guy, he's a lot of fun with playing. He's going to be on my top teammates line too. I'll play in the middle between Philly and Svenny would be my lineup there.
You talk
Yeah,
about Svenny. How is that playing against him now? Obviously, you guys won the championship with the Flyers, and then you guys go head to head. How is that going in the corner with him?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. He shot me a text before the final started, and he's like, "Hey man, I know we're really good friends, but I'm just not going to talk to you for a while." Like, all right, friends off, buddy. So he texted me right at the beginning. All right, we're not talking to each other on the ice, nothing until the series done. And then after he won, I kind of let it cool off for a week, and I tried to text him, and apparently that was too soon already. So it was a lot of fun being able to play with him, and then now against him, and I get to hang out with him a lot too. So we're really good friends, and he's a good guy, and we have a lot of fun together. So.
Well, Lucas, I appreciate you coming on with me. You've now been a part of two hometown teams that have ended long championship droughts. Years from now, when you look back on your hockey career, what do you think those championships and doing it in Winkler will mean to you?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to think about when you're putting yourself so far down the line. And I mean, hopefully this is not the only one we get with the Royals. I hope we get a couple more, obviously. But I think it's really special even when I talk to people that are close to me and they kind of remember those moments of watching us get that first one with the Flyers, and then obviously this one with the Royals too, and kind of the buzz that was going through Winkler that week and that finals week. I remember that kind of. There's definitely a little bit of energy throughout the whole town, kind of, especially going into that game 4 on Friday night in Winkler. It's like kind of what dreams are made of after we got that game 3 goal, and it was definitely a special time to be in Winkler and feel that energy. And I'll definitely, I guess, to answer your question more directly, what I'm going to look back on and remember is kind of just bringing the community together, and how much fan support we got, and being able to win in front of Winkler's finest, and definitely being able to enjoy it with my teammates.
Yeah, I remember the craziness when Flyers were in the last few games there. I remember coworkers, leaving at 3 p.m. to line up in the rain. Just crazy, the Flyers mania there. It was great to see the community support, and just not even just through the Flyers, but the support through all the sports. with the Royals as well. It's been great to see the local sports teams having a good run here, and obviously for you getting to be a part of some good runs with both of them.
Yeah, I mean, Winkler's a great place. I'm lucky enough to be born and raised here. I think the people that live in Winkler are some of the best people on earth. So it definitely feels good being in a place somewhere where you feel a lot of support and the community takes care of you. And we have a lot of great fans no matter what sport you're playing. So definitely very fortunate to be in that position.
Well, thanks, Lucas, for sitting down with me. We'll have a chat more later on, or going down in the future here. We'll stay in connection and maybe see how, like you say, hopefully this isn't the only one for the Royals there, and we see a couple more going forward.
Yeah, that'd be great. Love keeping in touch with you. And the goal is always to win, right? So no one ever goes into anything hoping to be second place. So got to have a winning attitude, and overall, it's got to hate to lose, really, is what it comes down to. So yeah, hopefully we can have a couple more chats like this throughout the years if we keep winning them off.
Well, I look forward to it there, Lucas. Again, thank you for joining me, and we'll keep in touch.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.